There's been some hurtful shit being said about you, Taurus. And I know that you know that. Um, you know, the strength of a person is definitely demonstrated when things aren't going well, right? It's almost like the whole archetypal book of Job concept where it's like, how do you know if somebody's really worthy until they're put through some shit? And ultimately, it's been coming for you. It's been coming for you in terms of criticism of some sort. Um, but I don't think it's just criticism. I think it's gossip. I think it's cattiness and bullshit, and it's very destructive, and it's caused you a great deal of hurt and suffering. And I think in some ways you need to express that. You need to let people know what's going on. I don't know if you're dealing. Aquarius had a similar message, but ultimately you might want to go watch the Aquarius video. But there is that sense of ultimately. First of all, because okay, Taurus, there's so much. We're all being tested right now in the most messed up ways because the universe, which is a reflection of us, knows our deepest, darkest secrets, our deepest, darkest fears, and it knows our weakest parts because we know our weakest parts. Ultimately, on some level, we're aware of all those buttons, and those are the ones that Pluto and Chiron are pushing, and Saturn's more than happy to let that happen. There's just that sense of, okay, let's see who's really worthy. And for you, it's public status and reputation. That's what it is. It's like, you love when people approve of you. You like when people like you and approve of you and respect you. And it's almost like in some ways, even though you're more a subdued sign, you're really not because you like attention. Okay, that's awesome. But ultimately, there's some there's some negative shit that's being said. And it's really destructive. But it's not necessarily destructive to your reputation. This is what I want to point out to you because I think this is what's very Plutonian about it. In that it makes you think. It makes you think, like the shit that's going on and being said, the criticisms, the critique, the nastiness. You're not going to have a problem knowing it's coming from a messed up place. You're not going to have a problem knowing that the people who are talking are petty douchebags. But the twist is that it makes you think about, it makes you doubt yourself. Well, am I really doing that? Wait a minute, am I like that? And it's not necessarily low self-esteem, but it is. But it's more a sense of something that you never really resolved when it came to who you are. You never really accepted it or allowed yourself to feel comfortable. Listen, the only way that we control our shadow is by embracing it. That's it. And right now, you're being asked to embrace a part of yourself that you don't really like. Well, first of all, why does it matter this much to me what people are saying? I don't really like that part of me. I know better. I know I should be above caring about what people say or their opinions about me or gossip, but I'm not. You know, you're a fixed earth sign. You're very much here on this planet. Those pragmatic, social things, they matter to you. They just matter. And it's almost like you don't like that part of yourself. You want to be better than that. Well, you can't get better than that by disowning that aspect of yourself. You have to look it in the mirror, you have to confront it, and you have to own it. Like that's what you have to do. And this is that uncomfortable period right now. This is what you're going to be dealing with in the energies the way that they are right now. And you're being tested through some really messed up stuff. Messed up, destructive gossip that's being said that has become a huge burden to you and people that you care about. It's a cross that you have to bear. And maybe you're writing about it or learning about it. There's communications that are coming in. It could be coming in through message or email. It's like the opposite of fan mail. It's criticism. It could be you're getting grades back and you don't like what you see because it's like the teachers don't get what you were trying to do or trying to say. It could be, you know, your yearly review coming back from your boss, and it's like, what do you mean I don't get a bonus? You're getting criticized instead of, you're getting criticized instead of praised for what you do. There's whatever messages or information is coming to you, it's coming in the form of stuff you don't want to hear. Because on some level, you know it's the truth. If it weren't the truth, Taurus, it wouldn't get to you. The reason why it gets to you is, the reason why it sticks is because you know on some level it's true. And you want to move on, but you keep looking back. And you're going to keep looking back if you don't learn to respect yourself and accept this shadow period. You're not always perfect. Look at her. All kinds of disheveled. Because you like rule the house of finances and you're ruled by Venus. So you guys know you like nice things. Okay? But this is all a sense of being broke, being poor, being broke down. You know, not having or not feeling good enough, not feeling beautiful, feeling ripped to shreds, like trauma maybe even that you experienced. Something that you never really talk about or weren't ever able to embrace or allow yourself to basically move on from. Because in a lot of ways, it's like there's a sense of positive future, but how are you going to have a positive future if you keep looking back? That doesn't even make any sense. You're going to trip over yourself and fall off that damn cliff. Like that's what you got to look forward to because you're trying to look away from her. And she's the one that needs attention. She's the one that needs love, and she's the one that you're ashamed of. So what is it? What is it that you're ashamed of, or even that you're just worried about? Because this is the time that you're going to be tested and you're going to be asked to look her in the mirror, look him in the mirror. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. But no, in all seriousness, this bad talk is bringing it all up to you. I'm trying to channel what it's about, but ultimately, it's criticism of your character. And it is definitely something that you take seriously. It's not something that you would just let go. Look at her, how disheveled she is. She's just all kinds of worn and beaten. A positive future takes looking in the future, not looking back. She's so, like, she's just looking in the wrong direction. For a positive future, it's like, let that past go. But it's impacted you too greatly for you to just let it go. Okay. So look at it. Be honest about it. And you don't have to be demonstratively honest about it. You have to just be, like, the only person you got to look at or talk to is the person in the mirror. That's the only person you have to talk to. And that may be part of the test of not making a huge demonstration about this, not using it as a means to get attention or to make a huge fucking, like, you know, statement, like a get up on your soapbox. That's not what this is about. What this is about is you and you. And maybe that's the temptation. And you're just trying to, like, learn from this. Don't let pride get in your way. Especially around the full moons. Could have had something to happen just this past full moon in Aries, right? This is Leo energy, where your sense of self was challenged. When your sense of who you thought you were took a hit. Yep, meditate and contemplate. This is Piscean energy, so anything is possible. So in other words, this is very uncomfortable energy for you because it's so unrooted. It's so uncertain. It's all mysterious. It's all illusion, right? But that's what came up to kind of like cloud what you thought of yourself. It confused you. It's almost like it threw you for a loop about the relationship that you have with yourself and then believe in the impossible. Now, this has more to do with the next set of cards, but I'm going to ask you, do you see this bubble being popped or do you see it rising up? Because it kind of will give you an insight into your psyche and how you're seeing things right now. Now, the bubble pop doesn't necessarily mean bad things are going to happen, but it does mean that you need release right now. And rising could just mean that you know something's up, right? It's like it's you know that trouble's rising. probably didn't even think that I would attribute those characteristics to those things, right? But think about it. See, this is your opportunity to move on from people who do not serve you, who do not fit you. And that, in some crazy way, Taurus, you're not going to like to hear this, but it could even be your family. Allowing yourself to just say, bye-bye. I'm out of here. You're leaving somewhere. You're leaving somewhere. You've worked really hard. You've accomplished something. Maybe you want to travel and go somewhere, but this is definitely leaving. This is like taking off, but not just flight. You're going somewhere. You've earned this. You've worked for it. This is part of your wheelhouse and dreams. You've gotten yourself this far. You've got to keep going. Right? Now, your real friends will support you. And this came out in your horoscope that I did on Max and Friends. I did a full horoscope for Taurus for the month of October. And your friends really stick by you. Right? So nobody trips you up on your way out. You'll always have that support. 1111, awakening. That's the second time I saw it. Oh my God. You're just kind of realizing how much you depend on people in your life to approve of you and help you. And if you listen to the horoscope, you better watch out for that, because there's going to come a time when they want the same from you, but you don't necessarily want to give it. And it's not because of greed or money. It's because, it's like, I hope that you're supporting me right now because you really believe in me. But please don't ask me to do something for you that I don't really believe in. But right now we're in the energy of you need their support. And maybe that's part of the caveat of your character that you don't like. It's like without that approval, you doubt yourself. You doubt your self-worth. And ultimately, your sense of self-worth has to be coming from something other than the approval of people around you, because those people could change. And it's time for you to move on to a certain degree, maybe to another social group, maybe to another place, or maybe you're actually moving, maybe to another company, or ultimately because to achieve your dreams and to achieve your goals, you got to go. You got to move. You can't stay around this group of people, even if they're helpful to you. It's time. It's time to move on. Whatever that means to you. Let's get into the major reading. Taurus. This shit just fly. It's just flying all over the place. So, learn from the past. It's hard. Hold on. It's interesting. Learn from the past comes up. And then a card came out way in the past, like way on my floor. That's always the past position. So there's a sense of optimism and hope and wide-eyed vision for the future, looking toward the future, not seeing the future, but seeing ahead, thinking that you had everything scanned out, being very hopeful. It's like literally wide-eyed, big-eyed, zo-eyed, little Zia. You know what that line's from? It's from my cousin Vinny, Marissa Tomei. Anyway, this is literally wide-eyed and innocent and sweet and gentle energy. And it's Taurus energy. It could have been where you started out. It's like wide-eyed. I thought everything was going to be okay. I thought everything was going to work. I thought this was the greatest thing in my life. But guess what? That was in your past. Learn from your past. Learn from that position of disappointment, disappointed innocence, roughed up, tumbled, like you're not in the same position anymore. This is on the defense. This is pushing through. This is, you can't be gentle now, right? You've got to be that bull that rams forward. It's almost like, listen, Taurus, you may not want to admit it because you want to be very dignified and gentle and earthy, crunchy and together, but that is not what you need right now. What you need right now is to be tough and to do the right thing, even if it is not what other people say is right or think is right. Sometimes life stings. Oh, you're definitely being spurred on. You're definitely being pushed. You're definitely being pushed into, you're uncomfortable. It's been maybe nagging at you for a while. This is scorpionic energy, something coming up from underneath, messages coming up from underneath. Guess where Mercury is right now? It's in fucking Scorpio. This is messages coming up. Maybe shit that you wanted to hide, DMs coming out, emails. It's almost like it's coming up and it's hurting you. It's painful. It's painful because maybe other people see it before you did and you don't even get a chance to control this. Yeah, somebody's been working to really sting your ass. They've been working really, really hard to make you uncomfortable, but they've been plotting this for a while. And it's a sense of you're going to need to get by with a little help from your friends right now to get you out of this really hairy situation. Not to like let you deny it or run away from it, but to help you. It's ultimately, that's probably what's really getting to you. You don't want to admit how much you need somebody else. Maybe how much you need your family or how much you need your friends. You don't want to admit how much you actually depend on everybody else. You want to act like, oh, you're the fuck it, because actually the rock is Taurus. I was going to say you're the rock. You're like the rock, right? The rock is Taurus, right? You know, you want to pretend like you're just like that rock in the middle of the ocean holding strong all by yourself, but that's not true. You are actually need other people. You need their collaboration, you need their ideas, you need their energy. And as much as you want to like be out front and act like, oh, I do this all by myself, the truth is you don't. You probably got a big old mama behind you taking care of everything, pushing through things for you. Ooh, take the lead. Now this is your divine purpose in life. This is spirit coming and getting in your face, okay? Oh, my little honey. I just needed to check on her. You know, she was sick all day, so I had to, yeah. This is, what has Spirit asked of you? Maybe he's asked you to be ashamed right now. Maybe Spirit has asked you to be embarrassed right now. Maybe Spirit has asked you to take this hit right now because he wants you to understand how it feels. He needs you to be humbled right now. But it's also a sense of moving forward, moving past this, having to figure out how to move past this. Take the lead. Dolphin, this and that are true. This does not make you comfortable. You don't like the ambiguity in between. You don't really want to sit there and play the yes game. You don't. You don't really want to pretend, like sit there and pretend like, oh yeah, I see your point of view. I see your point of view. You don't. You're not that. That's not you. You want to be upfront and say what you need to say because you know this is wisdom that you've earned, right? It's almost like that shit that came out about you. You don't want it to have to be ashamed of it. You don't want to have to hide it. You want to be able to say it straight out of your mouth and not give a fuck what people think. That's what you want, but you can't. You don't want to be gentle here. You don't want to be. That's a part of you that you have to actually understand and realize. That's part of your truth. That if you would just be like that bull out of the gate, ramming everybody. You like to be forceful. But so many times you try to act like, oh, that's not me. It is you. And if you don't admit it, it's going to cut wild. It's going to cut loose. Ooh, time for a deep dive and reclaim your power, but they come out together. So there's a sense of power through love and power through partnership. There's also this sense of somebody watching you, somebody stalking you, somebody looking at you who really admires you and thinks that you're beautiful or thinks that you're attractive, sort of falling, or maybe you falling in love with somebody from afar. When we get into your romance reading, we will definitely delve into this energy a little bit more because it needs to be expanded upon. But ultimately, this is Libra energy. This is partnership. This is love. This is romance. And it's also a sense, I'm going to say this right now, it's a sense of you feel in some ways it's compromised you. It's compromised your ability to be strong in and of yourself, but that's not true. Because attracting people and attracting their loyalty is part of your strength. Like that's something that you earned, right? This is feeling beautiful too, because this is Libra energy, but it's ruled by Venus too. This is beauty. It's like looking at yourself. Here, let me see. Can you see her? Can you see her? She like went to go lay on my bed. She just settled on my pillow. She's the best. She's been sick all day, so I'm kind of sensitive. So reclaim your power. But this is the thing. There's an edge here, and this is the trick. This is the uncomfortableness. This is the, oh, I don't want to do it through partnership. I don't want to. I don't want to need anybody else. But you don't know which way to go. I feel like that's what's coming out about you. Some negative commentary about how you diss the shit out of people, or you don't give them credit when they deserve it. That's kind of like that. That's kind of like the derogatory commentary that's coming out. What is this? Reclaim your power, a deep dive for love. What is this? See, there's something from the past here that's coming out. What is this? Hold on. Bring your ideas to life and then make your dreams come true, but it's in reverse. So there's a sense here of, this is maternal energy, mother energy. It could be your mother, your grandmother, or somebody that you're married to, like your wife. And then bring your ideas to life. So okay. That's the person. That's the person that this is all about. Somebody in your past, some sort of maternal energy, had a great deal to do with the success that you have right now. And ultimately, in a lot of ways, you're trying to deny that person. You're trying to deny it. You're trying to you kind of took all the credit for it. But ultimately, this person is being impacted or affected. And there's a sense of you sort of like, or I don't know, maybe they're the ones talking shit, calling you up and saying you needed to give me more credit. And it's catching you off guard. More to that story. Check out the extended below, because we're going to go into a full tarot card spread to get the details. But first, let's do angel messages. Okay. I wanted to see if anything could flip over. Oh, and it did. And it did. Heart and soul is what flipped over. Okay, let's read it. When making your decision, take into account what your heart and soul are saying. Sometimes the mind can deceive us. Choose through love, not fear. And that's what it is. Reclaim your power through love. Do you love this person? Then why would you deny them what they're worth? Do you love this person? Then why would you be ashamed of your association with them? Maybe they believe different things than you. Maybe their political views are something embarrassing to you. But ultimately, what have they meant to your life? And have they always been loyal to you? Well, then what do you owe them? Ultimately, that's the questions you're dealing with. Middle path, embrace both sides. The middle path is the road to a balanced, more peaceful life. Find a way to compromise. This is some sort of energy coming at you that wants more power over you than you want them to have. It isn't necessarily you dissing the shit out of them. It's you. Sometimes it's just you ready to grow beyond them. And there's a sense of, why won't you let me grow beyond you? Right? And that's all you really want. But ultimately, there's a road that is, I love this analogy. Taurus, some roads that you're supposed to travel on have not been paved yet. But if there's not a road there and you can't find a middle path, build one. That's what you have to do. Courage. You have what it takes. Just do it. We, your angels, are here to support you. This goes for whatever you're moving on to, whatever you're moving forward with. You're leaving somewhere. You're going to go do something. It's not that you can't do it or you have to be limited, but ultimately there's some way to incorporate this person, or there's some way to get them to see that it needs to happen. Archangel Raphael, feel yourself surrounded by my emerald green light. Emerald green is your heart chakra. I, Archangel Raphael, offer you healing and solace. The storm clouds will soon clear and the sun will shine eternally bright. Trust. You're going to get through this. You're going to get by with a little help from your friends. Diversity. The world would be a boring place if we were all the same. Celebrate your uniqueness. You are special and much loved. In other words, Taurus, because you can, all fixed signs can suffer from a great deal of stubbornness. So the world would be a boring place if everybody agreed with you. The world would be a boring place if, this is a sense of not only are we allowed to be different skin colors, are we allowed to be different religions, but we're allowed to be of different mindsets as well. We're allowed to have different opinions. We're allowed to think different things are funny. It's not just our way. And once you accept that, you start to open up doors to a lot of new friends, like seeing good in a lot more people that you would have written off because they weren't your prescribed definition of good. That's all I'm going to say right there. I don't know what the hell that was, but it's a little scary. There's explosions outside my house. But please come over to the extended with me. I can't wait to see you. Link is below. I'll see you guys there.